because you're a ballerina.
Hi.
So what do we say?
We're back for another social distancing story time.
Woohoo! Social distancing story time. We're a little bit late on the Halloween books. We've got a lot of Halloween books coming, you guys. It took us a while to get this together, but these books are going back to the library today.
So we decided, let's read them before we have to bring them back to the library.
That's right.
Our first book is Tiger Nightmare.
Tiger versus Nightmare.
Tiger versus Nightmare. And I picked Spooky.
Okay, yeah. So this one is pretty cool. It's apparently a Seuss Geisel honor book. It's by Emily Tetri, Tiger versus Nightmare, and it's like a graphic, not really novel, but graphic storybook, which means that a lot of the story is told in pictures, kind of like a comic book. So I'm going to flip the camera around, and I think Eve is going to help me turn the pages. I'm going to turn the camera around so we can really get a good look at the pictures in the book. Sound like a good plan, everybody?
Sounds good.
Okay, rotate. Boop, boo. First you see the dirty room, now you see the book. Okay, so this is a picture of the house, and now we're going to go inside. Oh, it's a tiger family and some of their friends talking over dinner. Dad, can I be excused? Yes, Tiger, you may. And may I have some extra food for the monster under my bed? Sure, but make sure your monster doesn't leave a mess or you'll be cleaning up monster messes in the morning. Thanks, my monster never leaves messes. Oh, they're so cute at that age. Oh, did you ever think there was a monster under your bed?
Yeah, I did not.
Oh, yes. Tiger is always coming up with these stories. I think she's just growing. Always hungry. So
I think that.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think Tiger's parents think about the monster?
They don't think it's real.
They don't think it's real, right?
I don't think they believe in it.
They think Tiger's just busy growing, right?
And making stories.
Okay, turn the page. Let's see what happens next. You know, the grown-ups think you're just in my imagination. Ooh, curry, thanks. Wait, what's that? Is it a monster?
Mm-hmm.
Do you really think we'd get to hang out and play every night if they knew I was real? Yeah, good point. Are you done with that curry yet? We still have to finish our game from last night. Oh, are they playing a board game? Mm-hmm. And that Fang wash, good, they're brushing their teeth before bedtime. That's important, right? Do you do that every night before bed?
Yes, but I don't like to use my one that turns on. I just like to use my one that doesn't.
Your regular toothbrush, not your electric toothbrush. Yeah. So now we're sleeping.
But she likes to make it.
The next day, I'm home. Oh, we're in the shop. Okay, so Tiger's hanging up her book bag, climbing on the counter and getting a snack. That looks like a good snack, though. So, this monster of yours, is it scary? No, it's my friend. And how long have you had a monster friend? Well, I don't know exactly, as long as I can remember. I know it was supposed to come scare me when I was a baby, but Monster said it didn't seem fair to scare a baby. Monster's got to scare something, though, so it started scaring away my nightmares for me. Well, that was nice. So, I usually bring it some dinner, and we play games. And then when I go to sleep, it keeps the nightmares away. Haha, so we're feeding a monster as well as a daughter, eh? If it's keeping the nightmares away, it's probably worth it. Definitely. Does your monster have any dinner requests? front page. It loves curry and tacos. It's not so into stew, though. Funny how those line up with your favorites. Dad, those line up with most people's favorites. Stew is terrible. I like stew. I like stew, too. Do you like stew?
Yeah, I do. I don't.
Oh, it's not your favorite?
No.
You like curry, though, don't you?
Yeah.
That night. Do you need us to check under the bed for monsters? No, I told you Monster is my friend. Right. Silly us. They're still not so sure about that monster, are they?
Mm-hmm.
Well, remind your monster to brush its teeth after dinner. Here's Monster. And so things continued, as they always had. Every night, Monster would eat, they would play, and Monster would fend off nightmares. Monster's so brave. Always the same routine. Monster scared away the nightmares with ease.
What are ease?
Means it was easy for Monster to scare away the nightmares. No problem, Monster's like, no dice, dude. Get out of here with that mess. I'm not afraid of you. Shoo! Wait a second. Is that nightmare shooing?
Mm-hmm.
No, that nightmare's getting bigger. That nightmare's trying to mess with Monster. Monster's trying to push the nightmare away. They're kind of in a little wrestling match.
Oh, go back to that nightmare. That guy is trying to eat that monster.
That guy is totally trying to eat that monster.
But he's thinking of a plan.
Get out of here. I'm not afraid of you.
Get out of here. I'm not afraid of you.
And then
stop crying.
And then the nightmare says, thwack, and bats him out of the way. Ow. Uh-oh, Monster's scared. Monster's never been knocked away before. And the nightmare's coming for Tiger. I'm sorry. Uh-oh. The nightmare's with Tiger. The next morning, Tiger was confused. The last time she had had a nightmare, Monster had been on vacation. She'd have to wait until nighttime to ask what happened. Monster was never around during the day, and it was a very sleepy day. Commute home. Looks like a tired Tiger. Poke. Did Tiger fall asleep in her food?
Mm-hmm.
So, did you go somewhere last night? I had a nightmare last night, and you keep those away. Where were you? I don't know.
You should have said.
I guess one slipped through somehow. Don't worry, it won't happen again. Oh, but Tiger looks a little nervous brushing her teeth now. Monster looks a little nervous, don't they?
Mm-hmm. And over here, Tiger's very nervous.
Okay, so Tiger's going to get into bed, and let's see where... Oh, Tiger does look very nervous. How about Monster?
Monster does, too. He's right there, very nervous. And he's
Down
sitting
here.
on the end of the bed, not safe.
Oh, well, a little bit not safe, yeah. Sit and guard. Oh,
Same.
okay, Monster sees the nightmare coming back.
Same nightmare for
Same
Monster.
nightmare. Same one. There's a standoff. There's a standoff, and then what's happening? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That doesn't look good.
What?
That nightmare looks like it's stronger than Monster, and then Tiger says, "Quick! Get under the covers!" Okay. I think we're safe under here. The next night, okay. Soothing tea for easy sleep? Check. Relaxing bedtime stories for sweet dreams? Check. And I found armor for you. Helmet, shield, sword, shin guards. You got this. All right, high fives, bumps, secret handshake. Everything's gonna be great, right? Uh-oh. Nope. The next night, Stasha, don't do that, thank you. The next night, Tiger didn't know what to do. Oh, Monster's got an idea. Well, it's just that it's coming from your mind, right? All nightmares do. I know it can't actually hurt me. But even so, when it shows up, it's so scary. Yeah, it is. It's weird how that works.
Wait. They're sitting in water?
So, Monster's eating his dinner, and then... Okay. Tiger says, I can do this. It's my turn. They came up with a plan. Oh, the nightmare must be back. There he is.
Is he gonna whack him with his tail? That's crazy.
Let's see. Oh, she looks really tough. You're in my head. What does he say? What does she say?
You're in my head. You're not
real. That's right.
You're in my head. You're not real.
And then Tiger's shielding herself in case the nightmare comes for her. But then, wait a second. It goes right through her. Whoosh. It can't get to her. Because you're in my head. You're not real. That's right. That's what we say to the nightmares. Okay, now Tiger knows she's making some progress. See? Whoosh. Huh?
You're not real.
That's right. You're not real.
What's happening? My fire. Boom. I can miss the best.
Mm-hmm. They're so happy. It worked. It worked. The friends did it. Teamwork. Phew. And then what does Tiger say?
What does she say?
Phew. From that night on, they would play games, fend off nightmares, and go to sleep. Both of them. Now Monster gets to sleep at night.
Good
All
night.
is well. Good night. Okay, let's turn it back around.
Bye.
Not bye. That was one book, guys. Come on. Come on.
Bye-bye.
Stop
Thanks
it,
for tuning in for another social distance.
Stop. We're going to read more. Okay, here's Evie's choice. Sit over there, girls. Spooky and the Wizard Bats by Natalie Savage Carlson, illustrated by Andrew Glass. Guys, sit over there, okay? You won't be able to see the pictures. Okay. Here we go. The Bascoms had a black cat named Spooky and a white cat named Snowball. Spooky had once belonged to a witch, but he had escaped. Later, he rescued Snowball from the very same witch. Now Spooky and Snowball were both house cats. At night, Spooky liked to go out through the little door cut in the big door. Then he would go pussyfoot to the bed of begonias. He liked to lie among the begonias and wait for excitement. Sometimes his friend Snowball came too. One night, Spooky went out of the little door in the big door. He went pussyfoot to the bed of begonias. He lay down among the begonias to listen to the sounds of the night. Eek, eek! A flight of bats flew in from the hills near the woods. They circled over Spooky. They dove at him. They flew loop-the-loops and barrel rolls and side slips over the cat. They squeaked shrilly into his ears. Eek! Scree! One nipped Spooky's tail. Spooky knew they belonged to the wizard who lived in a cave among the hills. He knew this because when he had belonged to the witch, she would take him along to visit her brother, the wizard. Spooky spat at them as he angrily clawed the air. Then he raced quickety-paw to the little door in the big door. He jumped into the fat chair with the bump in the seat. He spat and clawed the bats, who weren't there. Later that night, the Bascom family came home from a movie. "I've never seen so many bats around," said the Bascom boy. "And they keep circling over our house," said the Bascom girl. The next night, the bats came again when Spooky was lying among the begonias. He had to race quickety-paw into the house to get away. Now, Spooky really was angry. The very next evening, Spooky set out for the wizard's cave in the hills. He wanted to find out just what the wizard was up to. Spooky went pussyfoot along the street and down a winding road to the hills. Vines hung over the mouth of the cave to hide it, but Spooky knew it was there. He crept through the vines. He went creepy crawl through the cave. Long stalactites hung down from the ceiling. Tall stalagmites pushed up from the floor. A dim light in the distance cast shadows into goblin shapes that pranced around the cat. What were those words I just said in the cave?
Stalagmite and stalagmite.
Yeah, stalagmites stick up, stalactites hang down.
And it's like the tights. And it's like the tights you wear.
It's like the tights you wear. At last, Spooky reached a rock-walled chamber. The wizard was seated at a table, poring over a book of spells and charms. A vase of poison ivy and deadly nightshade stood at one corner of the table, and a sputtering candle at the other. A wand lay beside the book. Overhead, the bats hung from the stalactites like brown tassels. Spooky hid behind a stalagmite. He saw the wizard close the book. He saw the wizard take up the wand and wave it at the bats. He heard the wizard order them, "Begone! Torment that cat!" The bats let go of the stalactites and took to their wings. They flew out in a dark cloud.
So, is that a boy with a girl with?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's a boy with. No, that's a girl. Witches are girls and wizards are boys.
Traditionally.
That witch is a boy.
Okay.
No, that's a girl. No, that's a boy. Two boys. No.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
Some boys have long hair.
That's true. Some boys do.
Yeah, but that is a witch and that is a girl.
Okay, guys, we'll see. At that moment, a great rush of air that smelled like sulfur blew into the chamber. The witch had arrived on her broom. She parked it against the wall.
Her broom. It's a girl.
"So, you're sending your bats against that cat as I asked," she cackled. "I hope they drive him back to me, mewling. I want to hear him cry." "It's the work of my magic wand," the wizard said. "I couldn't make them obey my orders without it." The witch suddenly wiggled her sharp nose. "I smell cat!" she cried. Spooky scooted away. He raced quickety-paw between the stalagmites and out of the cave. Halfway home, he met the returning bats. They swooped down at him. They squeaked in his ears. "Eek! Scree!" They nipped at him. Their attack made his paws go faster and faster. Quickety-paw. At last, he ran safely through the little door and the big door. He had had enough excitement for one night. Early the next morning, Spooky set out for the cave again. The wizard would be asleep. Spooky had a plan to outwit him. He pushed through the vines. He went creepy crawl between the stalagmites again. The bats were hanging on the stalactites like tassels. The wizard was snoring on a couch under a cover of rat fur. Spooky jumped up on the wizard's table. He picked up the wand between his teeth. But when he jumped down, he knocked over the vase of poison ivy and deadly nightshade. The wizard awoke with a snort. He jumped up from his couch and ran after Spooky. But Spooky beat him to the hanging vines. Outside, a bat storm had suddenly come up. Perhaps the witch had stirred it up to make Spooky drop the magic wand. Wind-driven rain lashed at him. Thunder roared at him. Lightning shot jagged arrows at him. But he dodged them as only a cat can dodge. Quickety-paw. He never dropped the wand.
Yeah, he never dropped the wand.
At last...
Because you know why? Because he's a bad cat. He's a good cat.
At last, Spooky reached home.
He used to be a bad cat when he didn't listen. Yeah, he used to be a bad cat when he was with the witch, but now he's a good cat.
At last, Spooky reached home. He went into the living room and dropped the wand among the logs of the fireplace. He shook himself 3 times to dry off. He jumped into the fat chair with the bump in the seat. Snowball was already there, napping. Soon the Bascom family came into the room. "It's so damp and chilly with all that rain outside," said the Bascom father. "I'll start a fire in the fireplace." He laid crumpled papers on the andirons. He laid some logs on top of them. He picked up the wand. "An odd piece of kindling," he said. "I wonder how it got here." He dropped it on top of the logs. The Bascom father lit the papers. Soon, flames were curling up between the logs. They reached the wand. The flames turned many colors as they danced over the wizard's wand. Smoke flew up the chimney like a cloud of ghostly bats. There was roaring and crackling and hissing. Then the embers exploded like firecrackers. "Whoo!" exclaimed the Bascom father. "What in the world is in those logs?" "Perhaps they're bewitched," said the Bascom boy. "But Spooky is napping through it all," said the Bascom girl. And there's a grin on his face. That night, Spooky went through the little door in the big door. He went pussyfoot to the bed of begonias. He lay there for a long time. No bats came to bother him, and after a time, Snowball came outside to enjoy the sounds of the night. Okay, what's the next book, kiddos?
This one.
Okay, Miss Fiona's Stupendous Pumpkin Pies. And this is a book that they usually read every year at Halloween at the little farm school the girls went to. There was no Halloween hike this year, unfortunately, but this book is one they usually read.
And then this one.
Okay, we'll see if we have time. We're starting to run out of time. Okay, dudes? Okay. Down past the spooky graveyard and across. Stasha, you moved, so you go sit on the other side now. Stasha, move. You can see. Down past the spooky graveyard and across the stubbled fields, there lies a big old haunted house where all the paint has peeled. The shutters on the windows hang crooked, if at all. The roof is in such bad repair it looks like it might fall. There's a stone wall in the side yard and a crooked picket fence. An old barn sits behind the house that isn't worth 2 cents. Do you notice anything special about the words in this book, Evie? Do they rhyme? They do rhyme. In the garden, there's a scarecrow with his stuffing falling out, and everywhere you look, you see stray cats lying about. This house appears deserted, but it's still occupied, although some believe its occupants can disappear and fly. The old woman, Miss Fiona, lives here with all her cats.
And she is nice.
Well, let's see. A horse and cow live in the barn.
Nice
Okay, but don't ruin it. We'll see. A horse and cow live in the barn along with several bats. Now, legend says Fiona is 400 years and 3, though she never looked much older than 200 years to me. She walks a bit stooped over and wears a long black dress, and underneath her pointed hat, her hair's a stringy mess. One eye is larger than the other. There's a big wart on her nose, and on her feet are bright red shoes with doodads on the toes.
No, they're actually flowers.
Some folks think she's kooky, dressed like a witch on Halloween, but that just proves appearances aren't always what they seem. Please move that. For she keeps a tidy garden with a good-sized pumpkin patch, and every Halloween she serves fresh pumpkin pie from scratch. Yum. Sometime in late October.
Pumpkin pie.
Oh yeah, Miss Fiona starts her yield and brings in all her pumpkins from her big old pumpkin field. Stasha, did you have a pumpkin field this year?
I did.
I think we still have one pumpkin to harvest, if it's still doing okay after the snow. Yeah. Pumpkins line her windowsills and pumpkins line her floor. She has so many pumpkins, some come rolling out the door. We didn't have that many pumpkins, did we? No. She keeps pumpkins in her attic and some in her woodshed. There are even some who'll tell you she keeps pumpkins in her bed. Then on the day of Halloween, and not one day before, Fiona gathers all her pumpkins and begins her yearly chore. She hangs a cauldron on the fire to bubble and to boil. She chops and peels and rolls and stirs in a frenzied baking toil. Now and then she'll cackle as she checks her recipe. Then she'll peek over her shoulder to make sure no one sees, for her ingredients are secret. But as she sets each pie to cool, the spicy scent that fills the air makes everybody drool. No matter how you beg and plead, Fiona holds her ground. Not one piece of pie is served until midnight rolls around. As angels, spooks, and goblins start to gather in the street, the night is filled with laughter and the cries of, "Trick or treat!" Black cats and ballerinas run to each house and in between, wishing every witch and ghost a happy Halloween. But the last house that we visit as the midnight hour draws near is down past the spooky graveyard for a slice of pumpkin pie. Boys and girls from miles around come knocking at her door, dressed in such frightful costumes as vampires or dinosaurs. Miss Fiona shrieks and giggles as she welcomes each new guest, then sends them to the backyard to wait with all the rest. As the witching hour creeps closer, Fiona steps out on her porch, with a crow upon her shoulder, in her hand a burning torch. She surveys all of her visitors, and we wave and smile to greet her. Then she slowly lets her spooky gaze fall on one special trick-or-treater. She points and crooks her finger and wiggles her eyebrows, then cackles. "Come, my dearie, I need help inside my house." This year it's a pink rabbit that is Miss Fiona's choice. We all look at her with envy, all the little girls and boys, for it's quite a supreme honor to help Fiona serve her pies, a most distinguished, rare accomplishment to be so recognized. The seconds tick by slowly, the anticipation grows. The moon peeks out behind the clouds, the wind begins to blow. Then far off in the distance, the church bells begin to peal, and from inside her kitchen we hear Miss Fiona squeal. "Oh, come all you witches, come clowns and pirates too. Come celebrate this Halloween and bring your friends with you." With that, Fiona's helper throws the front door open wide and beckons, guys, chill out, and beckons every girl and boy to come and step inside. The house is warm and cozy with carved pumpkins everywhere, though you do have to be careful not to get cobwebs in your hair. Owls hoot in the pantry. Cats lie at Fiona's feet. From upstairs we hear wails and moans that make Halloween complete. The pies are most delicious, and she also serves warm cider. Then she passes out souvenir rings in the shape of creepy spiders. And after every one of us has had cider and been fed, she tells us spooky stories that make eyes pop out of our head. And as we leave, she sends us home with an extra slice of pie for Mom and Dad and Grandma, who wait up until we arrive. Most folks are very curious about Fiona and her ways, but mostly it's her pumpkin pies we talk about for days. I must admit, Fiona's kooky with her warts and pale green skin, but who cares how kooky someone looks when there's goodness deep within? Still, I scratch my head and wonder when folks ask the secret to her pie, 'cause she'll wink and snort and cackle to everyone's surprise. "Just take one big ripe pumpkin, add a lizard and a toad, stir in a few good bat wings, and serve it a la mode." Does that sound like how you think she makes her pie? I don't think so. Okay, we can read one more short one, Evie, real quick.
She's trying to kill them.
I don't think she's trying to kill them. I think she's joking. Oh boy, everyone gets to hear my bad Yoda voice, and then we'll be done. This is a Star Wars book, A Jedi You Will Be, not Halloween themed. And this one is by Preeti, Chhibber, and Mike Deas.
I like it.
Yes. Hello, youngling. Hey, yes, see you I do. Why are you here? Follow him, did you? Know who that is?
Sausage, do you like that?
Yes, a great Jedi Luke Skywalker will become. A Jedi too you wish to be? Help you I can. Come, come. First time I committed to doing that Yoda voice, I realized this book was a lot longer than I expected. So apologies to everyone. Eat first we must. Strength you will need. Why a Jedi you wish to be? Adventure you want? Excitement you seek? A Jedi craves not these things. Ready are you? What know you are ready? For 800 years I have trained Jedi. Easy it is not. A Jedi must have the deepest commitment. Willing to work hard, are you? Do you guys want to be Jedis?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Too big, are you? Too small? Right you are. Size matters not. Finish, will you, what you begin? Scary things there are. Mean things. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Face your greatest fears you must, just as Skywalker does. Brave can you be? Calm can you stay? You will know the good from the bad when you are at peace. Now close your eyes. Closed are they? See you peeking, I do. Now breathe. Reach out. A Jedi's strength flows from the Force, and a powerful ally it is. Feel it, do you? Is that what we do to calm down? Take a deep breath? That's right.
But sometimes I can't take deep breaths.
It can be hard. Life creates it. Make it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. You must feel the Force around you, between you and me, the tree, the rock, everywhere. A Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack. After all, wars not make one great. And as they seem, things not always are. Important strength is, but weakness too. It's good to be weak too. Soft and hard. It's good to have balance, not just be all one thing. And failure, part of the journey they are. Because what do we say? How do we learn? By making mistakes? By doing things wrong?
But sometimes you can't do anything.
Believe in Skywalker, you and I do. But not yet Skywalker believe in himself. Perhaps together we can show what is possible. Reach out. Feel the Force. Do or do not. There is no try. Do it, you can. Oh, look at what they did. Did he lift it up using the Force?
Yeah, Yoda did.
Before your path lies. Hard choices there will be. Off to face his greatest challenge, Skywalker is, as all Jedi must. But wiser he will emerge, as will you in whatever you may face, as long as you mind what you have learned. A Jedi you will be. May the Force be with you. I apologize if I sounded a little more like Cookie Monster than Yoda. Okay, what do we say, guys? You want to come over to this side?
Well, we're actually gonna leave now, so please believe me. Thanks for tuning in for another social distancing story time.
Say bye.
Bye. Love you.
Later, dudes.
Later, dude.